So you're thinking about making a big career change, right? It's exciting, but let's be honest, it can also be pretty terrifying. And the biggest thing holding most of us back isn't finding a new job, it's the financial uncertainty. Well, today, we're going to tackle that head on. We're going to build a clear, step-by-step financial roadmap to get you from where you are now to where you really want to be. A lot of us get to a point where we start asking, okay, what's next? You might be craving a fresh challenge, a better work-life balance, or just more passion for what you do every day. And that dream, it's a really powerful feeling, but it usually slams right into one big practical question. And yep, you guessed it, that question is almost always about the money. All those what ifs just start swirling around in your head. What if I can't afford my life? What's going to happen to my retirement, my savings, my mortgage? That fear, that financial uncertainty, it's the number one reason that awesome dream often just stays a dream. This is what we're calling the mid-career crossroads. It's that exact spot where your big ambitions meet the hard reality of your finances. But here's the thing you absolutely have to remember. A solid financial plan isn't a wall stopping you. It's the bridge that's actually going to get you over to the other side. Okay, so before you even think about opening up a job site, we've got to lay some groundwork. We're going to build your financial foundation. And this part is all about taking a really, really honest look at where you stand financially, right this second. This whole foundation is built on two key pillars. First, you've got to know your numbers, like every single dollar coming in and going out. And second, you need to build that safety net. Without these two things, you're basically flying blind. They are totally non-negotiable if you want to make this move with any kind of confidence. All right, so knowing your numbers. What does that actually mean? It means doing a complete financial audit. And I'm talking a deep dive here. We're talking every source of income, every single expense, from your mortgage all the way down to that streaming service you totally forgot you were paying for. And yeah, your investments, any debts you have, it all goes in. And hey, if you've got a partner, their finances are part of this picture too. This isn't about judging yourself. It's just about getting crystal clear on the facts. Okay, next up, that's safety net. We're talking about your emergency fund. Now, this is not your let's go to Hawaii fund, and it's not your investment portfolio. This is just cash, plain and simple, sitting in an account you can get to easily, and it's there for one reason and one reason only, to cover your bills if your income suddenly stops or some other emergency pops up. So the big question, how much do you actually need in there? Well, for what they call a planned income disruption, and let's face it, a career change is exactly that, Vanguard suggests saving up 3 to 6 months worth of your salary. That cushion, that buffer, that's what gives you the breathing room to make a move without totally freaking out. All right, so you've got your foundation set. Now it's time for the exciting part, actually planning the leap. This whole phase is about being smart and strategic, making choices about your next move that are really informed, especially on the money side. And there are two big things to do here, and they're totally connected. First, you have to analyze what the real financial impact of a new job could be. Then, based on what you find, you have to get super intentional about your spending. Let's dig into that. This is the million-dollar question, isn't it? A new career path might mean taking a pay cut, at least for a little while. So you have to get real with yourself and ask, can my budget actually handle that? And, maybe more importantly, is the long-term payoff going to be worth a short-term squeeze? But here's something that's really important to remember. Salary is not the whole story, not by a long shot. A different job might come with amazing perks that can totally make up for a smaller paycheck. I'm talking about things like a company that pays for all or most of your healthcare, or one that gives you a much better match on your retirement plan, or even covers your commute. These benefits have real, tangible dollar value that you have to factor in. And that brings us right back to spending wisely. The absolute best way to start is to get super honest about your needs versus your wants. You can see the breakdown here. On the left, you've got your needs: housing, food, healthcare, the stuff you gotta have. On the right, you've got your wants: eating out, vacations, that extra streaming service. Cutting back on those wants, even just for a little while, is the absolute fastest way to free up more cash for your transition. Okay, so we've covered the immediate stuff, the groundwork. Now, let's zoom out and look at the big picture. How do you secure your financial future for the long haul? Because this isn't just about getting through the next few months. It's about making sure this career change doesn't mess up your bigger goals, like retirement. There are two really important moves to make here, and you can think of them as playing both defense and offense. You got to play defense by lowering the risk in your investments, and you play offense by squeezing every last bit of value out of your current job before you leave. Trust me, both of these can make a massive difference. Look, how you invest in your 40s or 50s just shouldn't be the same as how you invested in your 20s. It's a different ballgame. The goal starts to shift. It's less about aggressive, go-for-broke growth and more about preserving the money you've worked so hard to build up. It's all about protecting what you have and building real security. And this chart here, it shows you exactly what I'm talking about. It's the idea of de-risking. Basically, it's about rebalancing your portfolio. So that might mean shifting some money out of more volatile stocks and moving it into safer bets like bonds. It's a strategic play to protect your nest egg when things are a little uncertain. And one last thing, before you hand in your notice, have you actually looked at all the benefits your current job offers? So many companies offer things like tuition reimbursement, or job training programs, or even internal positions in a whole different department that could be your next step without all the financial drama. Seriously, don't leave free money and opportunities on the table. So look at that. What started out as this kind of fuzzy dream of, I want to do something different, has now turned into a real, concrete, actionable plan. We've moved from being stuck in the what-ifs of financial fear to building a how-to guide for financial freedom. You know, this quote really just says it all. This whole process, it's probably not going to be a perfectly straight line. There are going to be bumps in the road. But having a solid financial plan isn't about magically avoiding every single problem. It's about giving yourself the resources and the strength to handle those problems when they pop up. Listen, making a big career change is a marathon. It is not a sprint. But you know what? Every single marathon starts with just one step. So after everything we've talked about, I've got one question for you. What's the one single step you're going to take today? Are you going to open up that spreadsheet and finally track your spending? Or maybe calculate what your emergency fund goal should be? Just pick one small, totally manageable thing you can do right now to start turning that dream into your plan.